Hey, what's up everybody? My name's Kyle, and today I'm going to be doing a drawing of Ashe. Ashe is the newest character in Blizzard's Overwatch video game. She just got announced recently, and the reason why I'm doing this one is I actually just finished up doing Inktober this year. So Inktober wrapped up at the end of October, and for those of you who don't know what Inktober is, it's a art challenge that was created by a guy named Jake Parker. I don't know how many years ago, but I've been doing it about 4 years now, I think. And what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to do an ink drawing every day during the month of October. So I completed that challenge, and I actually did all of the Overwatch characters during that month. I also did do a couple, like 3 other characters from another TV series on Netflix called Final Space. But I'm going to walk through all of the drawings that I did for Inktober, and then finish up with a time lapse of how exactly I created this character. So you can kind of see my process where I don't have to do 31 videos to show you every single one of these. You can see the process on this drawing in particular and extrapolate that, because I did the exact same process for every other drawing this month as well, or last month actually. But that said, how about we just get right into it. Okay guys, so quickly before I get into the actual drawing, I'm just going to go over the tools that I used. I do use primarily ink-based or alcohol-based ink markers. This is a cheaper kind of brand. I have been using Copics for a long time. They're also very good. We do have Prismacolor ones right here. And then I actually just picked up a few of these Winsor Newton ones as well that are all very, very good for doing the shading and that. The cheaper ones, the tips won't last as long on them for you, so just be prepped for that. These markers are a little more expensive. The Winsor Newtons are not overly expensive, and they actually do provide pretty good quality. I actually do like them quite a bit. So I will probably actually be investing in more of these in the future. For certain outlining stuff, I'm going to be using a Copic multiliner. It's just a 0.5 ink marker. It's like a technical pen. And then for the actual ink work, the full ink work is going to be a Pentel brush pen. So that's going to just sit there. Very, very good tool. A little bit on the expensive side, but definitely worth it. I have 2 of them, and they have not worn out whatsoever. They're refillable for their ink and everything like that. So definitely worth it. You'll see that you can get a lot of line variation in that with this type of pen. So let's just move this stuff out of the way, and then I'm going to go through all of the Inktober drawings that I did during October, and then I'll show you the last one, which is the one which we will be going through as a time lapse to see how I actually created it. So that said, let's move this stuff out of the way. So picture number 1 was Gary and Mooncake from the TV series Final Space. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. And also if you haven't seen Olan Rogers, who's the creator of this series, his YouTube is hilarious. It's an excellent one. So go find him, like and subscribe his videos as well. And we'll move on to the next one here. So also from Final Space, I did Avocado and Lilcado. And the last one that I did from Final Space as well is Quinn and Kevin. So this one looks pretty good here too. So I kept this one primarily in the same style as the TV show. Put a little bit of my own spin on it, but it's a very cartoony show to begin with, so it works well with the way that I draw. And this is where we start with the Overwatch characters. So all of the following characters are every single Overwatch character to date. I've got Junkrat to start here, and again I kept him a little more simple to begin with, but as you'll see as we go along with this, that they all kind of get higher quality, higher detailed and that as well. So this is May. I try to get all of their voice lines in as well as their names. In the case of May, one of her voice lines has her name in it, so it worked out well for that. This one's Doomfist. And we've got Bastion here as well. And his little bird, I don't know what his bird's name is. I should check that out. But yeah. Orisa, so keeping with the robot theme here, I guess. I did more of like the cutesy version of Orisa for this drawing. I could have done the more realistic one, but I kind of like the way the cute version does look like in the spray, the in-game spray that you can put on the walls. I don't usually use Moira all that much in the game, but I think this is where I really hit my stride with Inktober this year, because this is where I finally got the style where it really blended my style and Blizzard's style to create this hybridization that we're going to see with all of the following ones. So I do really like how this one turned out. This is where I really started to play with more color tone and things like that to get a real interesting kind of comic booky, cartoony look that still fits in with the way that Blizzard has done everything. Here's Bridget. And this one I really like. This is Wrecking Ball. He's a newer champion, but he's just turned out so cute. He looks so good. We've got Kenji. So Kenji turned out pretty good. I had a little bit of an issue with some of the roughing out here, so there's a little more gray working lines that I would have liked, but overall it turned out pretty good. I like that I've thrown the dragon in here, and I know I'm liking my own work a lot, but I think that's important. I think it's important that you like your work, so don't ever feel bad about liking your own stuff. I think that's fine. Anyone who calls you out on it, whatever, just leave it be. Now his brother here too, I've got Hanzo. Hanzo's got the arrow because he no longer uses swords. His tattoo's kind of roughed in here. We've got the other dragon going on here. This one turned out good too. Again, very much my style with a hint of the Blizzard style in here as well. Great character designs to work with to begin with anyway. Zaria. So Zaria just looks great. I think this, I made her probably look a little more fabulous than she does in the game. She looks a little more badass in the game. But I do like how this one turned out. I think the head shape is still a strong head shape. Just the whole suit, it looks really good. The whole playing with the stars for the Russian theme, it worked out really well. I like that one. We've got Diva. So this is where I was trying to incorporate things into the background as well, like having her her rabbit and that in here. Mccree. So Mccree is probably one of my favorite ones that I did. I do really like how the Deadeye symbol works with the whole flame in the background. The text in that of the lettering is very, very nice. Very much the Western kind of cartoon style, and just the look of him. The look of him looks good. He's such a cool character to begin with, and I like my own spin on him as well. Getting through these quicker here. This is Mercy. Let's turn it a little bit so you can see the lettering a little more, and kind of how I did the wing in the background for the Valkyrie. We've got Zenyatta. Zenyatta's not a character that I normally played before, but I have been playing a lot of him recently, and I'm loving his character. And I really like the composition of this picture. I like the way it worked out with the balls going around his head there. Orbs, let's say. And then the Zenyatta lettering. I actually had done this in a thing I did on, not Inktober, but a thing I called Letters of June a few years ago with similar lettering to this, so I wanted to carry that into the theme for this drawing in particular. And we've got Tracer. Now Tracer's kind of a goofy character, so I wanted to give her this kind of goofy look where she's kind of like blowing her hair out of her eyes and that, and then give this pattern of kind of a sporadic movement because she's a very fast, agile character. Now Symetra, since her rework, I really, really like Symetra. I've always liked the look of Symetra. In particular, I had to redraw this one probably 7 times because I just was never happy with it. I always wanted it to turn out really, really good. I think it finally did. I think the lettering looks great. I think just the overall look, she looks very upper class, very powerful as a strong woman, and I think that that's what they were going for with her character. Being able to do things with the visor so that it looks a little bit see-through and things like that. I like how this one turned out. I'm saying I like how all of them turn out, but yeah, I'm a little biased. So here's Torbjorn. This is Bridget's father. This one's pretty good. I like it. I think the lettering in particular is the part that I like the best on this. And then for Winston, of course, I had to do the baby version of Winston. The big version's great, but the baby version, he just looks so cute. And him being put into, I believe he's in World of Warcraft as a pet now. It just looks great. He's a funny little character. Then we've got Lucio, and Lucio used to be my main healer. I've been using, like I said, Zenyatta a little more, but Lucio is definitely one of the best healers in the game, if not probably one of the best characters in the game overall. Lettering worked out good, being able to add like the beats and that into here. He just looks cool. I think he turned out great. I'm saying that for everything. I keep saying that everything's turning out great, but I like them. I'm happy with this Inktober. I'm very happy with how it turned out. So here's Farah. So I tried to get her her whole Justice Reigns from Above move, where all the rockets come out of her, come out from behind. That's it. Here's Farah's mom, Anna. This one was one of the first ones I think that I used really, really dark shades on the character itself, just to have it stand out a lot more trying this. So it's always a little bit tricky for me using darker tones, because when you're using the marker lays down very, very dark to begin with, and then they'll lighten up whenever it dries. So you almost have like a little bit of a heart attack moment whenever you're seeing that kind of thing go on, but whatever, it worked out well. This one is probably another one of my favorites. Not a character I use a lot personally, but I do really, really like the style of this one. This one has very, very much my style to it, but still has the unique character design elements that Blizzard kind of put in place. The lettering's not perfect, but it's pretty good. I'm overall pretty happy with this one. Then we've got Reinhart here. Probably my favorite part of this one is the lettering. I do like the cracks in the background of this. Kind of the same kind of effect as whenever he does the hammer down move. Got Soldier 76. So I used to main as Soldier 76 whenever the game first came out. I haven't been playing as much of him lately, but I think he has honestly some of the best voice lines out there. He's just a kind of a cool character overall. All right, Widowmaker. This is another one that I had to draw a few times, and then I had to figure out what I was going to do for the background, because the background I did a couple where it was just like spiderweb type texture, but I didn't really like that look. I wanted it to be a more solid look. All the other ones have more of a solid background, and the webbing was too kind of sparse. So I actually used this shape, which is the same shape as what a Black Widow spider has on its back. And I think it worked out well. All right, and then for the last two in Inktober, I wanted to do the Halloween skins since it was October 30th and 31st. So I changed up the way I did the lettering. The lettering, I went for an outline style. The lettering for Reaper, I really like this. I think it turned out amazing. And doing him as the Dracula skin, I think this is honestly one of the best skins in the entire game. It's just such a cool look. They did a really good job with their Halloween kind of setup for the event that they had in the game. And then finally for the last Inktober piece, it was Junkenstein's Monster. So I wanted to do like more with this one, make it more detailed and impactful. I put his little Piggy Wiggy kind of icon here that you can use as a spray in the game. And I just think this design, this mask design is amazing. I think Blizzard really knocked it out of the park with this character in particular. Just such a good design. And he has such a good silhouette in the game. And the colors are just incredible. So I wish I could have done all of these in color. I did them all in grayscale for now. Color would have taken a lot of extra time. Maybe next Inktober I'll start doing some color stuff. I don't know. But yeah, so that's the last of the Inktober ones. And then this is the one here that we're going to see as a time lapse. So Blizzard just announced this character not too long ago. Ashe is directly tied to Mccree, his storyline. So, and she has this secondary character named Bob, who I believe is going to be part of her ultimate. That's what it's seeming like in the videos anyways. So that said, we've seen this now. Let's take this and we will see the time lapse for this character. So. right, so this is looking pretty good so far. I'm liking the way her expression's looking in that. She still looks like my style, which I'm happy with. I I've done kind of like the background as Bob, her ultimate ability in the background. He's like an omnic robot. I've done kind of like a little bit of like smoky kind of stuff for the background in that as well. So that said, I'm going to start inking now. That'll involve outlining this text using a regular permanent marker to fill it in, just because I don't like wasting my expensive ink to do that. So I use just cheap dollar store markers to do that. And how about we just get going on that? so now we've got the inking all done. Now we're going to start the shading part of this, and that's just going to involve using some markers and creating kind of depth to this illustration. So let's get started on that. Alright guys, so here's Ashe all finished up. I'm really digging the look that she has. She's got kind of this Calamity Jane kind of look going about her, so that worked out really well. I think the lettering worked out really well too. It looks very similar to Mccree's lettering, and since she's so tightly tied to his storyline, I think that works really well. I was able to pick a voice line. I'm assuming this is probably going to be one of her voice lines just because of the trailer. If it's not, well, this was ahead of the time anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Whenever she's fully released, we'll find out new lines anyways for it. So I do like how I was able to get Bob in this since he is, I'm assuming, going to be her ultimate. He's in behind, kind of in the silhouette kind of shape, so that works well to kind of like round the whole piece out together. And if you guys do like this kind of thing, you can follow me on Instagram. I do have all of these up from Inktober, and you can see them kind of all in their full glory there. You can give me a like and subscribe there, and you can like and subscribe here as well. My Instagram's going to have a couple things on it that are like one-off projects, things that aren't necessarily always lengthy enough for YouTube, but you can see that, and I hope you do. So that said, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys again soon.